Hello, today we're going to talk a little bit about some stromal tumors, in particular Phyllodes tumor. To start off with, I have a biopsy here. So what we can see at low power, and this is 4x, is that we have these somewhat leaf-like projections, which can be difficult to see on biopsy. There's also increased cellularity underneath the epithelial layer. And if I zoom in a little bit and get you guys in focus here, what you can see is you have that prominent epithelial layer, and then you have a lot of cellularity immediately underneath it. There's usually varying degrees of cellularity within Phyllodes tumors, and the vast majority of them are benign, and benign phyllodes tend to be lower in cellularity in the stroma. Sometimes they can hyalinize a bit, like what we're seeing in this section, where the stromas may be a little more pink. Also maybe see some features of other lesions alongside with phyllodes. Okay, why are these important? Well, they tend to grow very rapidly, and they usually have a well-circumscribed border, so they're easy to take out. And because they grow rapidly, they can distort the breast. If we see these kind of features on biopsy, this would be enough to suggest that this is a Phyllodes tumor, which would prompt the surgeon to take it out. There are grades for Phyllodes tumors, but this is not enough to grade. So I would just say something about consistent with Phyllodes tumor. What we're looking for on excision, if I pull up another slide here and get us back in focus. So here again we can see that those nice broad leafy areas. So when we think Phyllodes tumor, this is what we think of. Now I know some people might be thinking, well, how is this different from fibroadenomas? Because sometimes we can see this in fibroadenomas. So if you recall with fibroadenomas, again, even with the intracanicular pattern, we wouldn't see the increased cellularity right underneath that epithelial layer, and you don't see a definite expansion of the stroma. So one of the features that we are looking for in Phyllodes is something that's known as stromal overgrowth, and I do have a slide to show you guys what that looks like. But pretty much if your whole lesion's looking like this is too much. Okay. Fibroadenomas tend to have similar stromal cellularity throughout, even if they have that type of pattern. So if I show you guys a case of stromal overgrowth, and what stromal overgrowth means, you'll notice once I get to the area, it's a little hard to drive. Okay, so we're in the lesion, and what you notice is there's no epithelium, right? There's nothing in here that looks like glands. It's just a sea of stroma. And to maybe prove to you guys that we are indeed still in lesion, I'm going to go to 2x. So you can see here's our border, which is bothersome, and we'll get back to that in a second. But here's our phyllodes, right? Here's all our broad leafy structures. And then we have these areas that are just overly expansile with no epithelial features. So, okay, so that's a worrisome feature in Phyllodes. Another thing that we see, and it's more appreciable at low power, but as we go in, we start seeing that we don't have a well-circumscribed border anymore. As you guys can see, we have fibroadipose on the bottom of the screen, and we have some stroma. Come on, get in focus. So we have the stroma that we were seeing in our expansile areas of phyllodes, and look at what's creeping down. It's no longer pushing like the areas that have more of the leafy expansions, so that's worrisome. We also notice that there's atypia in some of these stromal cells. You can see at 4x that some of these cells, and if I go up to 10x, some of these nuclei are quite atypical compared to their neighbors. You can see there may be multiple nucleoli. The nuclear contours might be a little atypical. And one of the things to watch out for in phyllodes is when they do have sarcomatoid elements. Just because, again, that helps us go, hey, malignant. This patient may not do as well as others. So, okay, back to a little bit about the Phyllodes tumors. So when we're looking at low cellularity, pushing borders, and low mitotic activity. And low mitotic activity in phyllodes means less than 5 mitotic figures per 10 high power field. So what's a high power field? And that'd be at 40x. And we start getting into more moderate cellularity, or areas like this that are high cellularity. What's nice about this is that we can see here's some more areas that are more hyalinized, that are lower in cellularity. We start seeing more of that classic Phyllodes architecture. But areas like this are worrisome. And so we're going to go down. And what we start seeing, I'm seeing it right away, is that, let's see if I can find some here. Oh, there's one. We start seeing mitotic figures. Okay, so when you're looking at these tumors, you want to go around 10 high power fields. There's some more mitotic figures. There's a few of them. Okay, and we're only at 20x here, but even with me just driving around a little bit, we start seeing more and more. And this tumor definitely had more than 10 mitotic figures. There's another one. Let's get that in focus. Come on. So that makes this consistent with a malignant Phyllodes tumor. Between the high cellularity, the high mitotic activity, we have infiltrative borders, and there are areas too that do show necrosis. I don't know that I have one of those in this field. But let's see here. Here's more of that infiltrative stuff. Here we got some debris. Okay. But there were areas of focal necrosis where we had entire leafy fronds, if we consider like one of these leafy fronds, where the epithelium was completely necrotic, not just, and the stroma was necrotic as well, not just hyalinized. So when we're looking at these features, that makes us think phyllodes. So what things should we be thinking about that it could also be? Well, the biggest thing, as I mentioned before, is this fibroadenoma. So fibroadenoma definitely is not going to have the infiltrative borders, the high mitotic activity, definitely not sarcomatoid features if those are present. So pretty much if you aren't sure, and radiographically they're not sure, going between fibroadenoma and phyllodes isn't a bad differential to give the clinician. Another thing you could consider would be like a metaplastic carcinoma, but those tend to have epithelial differentiation, so your keratins would help show you that, going back to more of a classic Phyllodes picture, since I kind of zipped around pretty quick on this, the keratins would be more diffuse. If you have like really weak focal keratins, that doesn't help you tell if it's metaplastic carcinoma versus Phyllodes, because they can be tricky that way. And the other thing to consider would be like a periductal stromal tumor. But with those, you wouldn't see any of this beautiful leafy architecture. So those are the things you should kind of consider. For genetics, there's a few things that they propose, most of them concerning the WNT pathway. So whether we're looking at beta-catenin upregulation or cyclin D1, downstream activation. There's also multiple chromosomal abnormalities like gains of 1q, different losses on chromosome 13, and there's also been some look into deletion of 9q21 at the CDKN2A gene, and there's also been deletions of 9p described, and a lot of these latter abnormalities have been shown to be more consistent with malignant Phyllodes. So malignant Phyllodes being about, less than 5% of the 15% that aren't benign Phyllodes. These tend to recur, and you can have usually lymphovascular spread, even with benign Phyllodes. And even though benign Phyllodes can be well circumscribed, they do tend to recur as well, about anywhere from 20 to 30% of cases. So they do want to keep a watchful eye on them for about 3 years after they've taken it out, and then the patient can go back to regular screening if they haven't had a recurrence. What else? If you're on the fence about fibroadenoma versus Phyllodes, these do tend to occur, at least in North America, in more middle-aged women. So you're looking at women between the ages of 40 to 50 instead of fibroadenoma, where we think young women, they're 20 to 30 years old. And the malignant variants tend to occur a little later than that, but that isn't always the case. If you had there's data in over in Asian countries where they tend to see them in younger women as well. But this was just a really nice case to show you guys a little bit about Phyllodes. It's not a tumor you see all the time, but it's one that's instantly recognizable, I think, and I hope this was helpful. If you like this review, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, so we can get you all the latest short reviews and slide reviews on Wednesdays. If you have any comments, please let me know in the comment section. At this point, I'm a trainee myself, so if you have something that I missed or something I said incorrectly, please let me know, so that everybody can learn together and we can just grow from this, much like the tumor in front of us that grows, but maybe not so quickly. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks.